start here. This is Dust Devil 2019. My name is Joe Audino. I'm your tournament head announcer.
I am Loose Change.
And we're going to get started here with the Tucson Roller Derby Saddle Tramps and the North Star Roller Derby Supernovas. Barb, you want to tell us who the Supernovas are?
Absolutely. So, North Star Supernovas out of Minneapolis. They're my league. It's fine. Don't worry. 0157 is She Coli. 110 Anaconda. 13 Torrential Pain. 1300 Katarina Hit. 15 Gigi Wiz. 17 Red Hot Toddy. 1949 Red Panda. 24 Lumber Jill. 314 Rude Barb. 37 Misa Ornery. 44 Jackalope. 46 Hit List. 555 Hot Mess. 58 Salty Mod, and 622 is Kilroy. Jamming that last jam was number 44, Jackalope.
All right, and for the Tucson Roller Derby Saddle Tramps, now everything's just giving me feedback. I'll fix that in a second. We have 106 Mad Hater, 11 Daddy, 16 Scrappy McNasty, 25 Lana Del Slay, 311 Cashmere, 3381 Hella Naughty, 420 Pariah Carey, 343 Mona Handful, 505 Cherry Popper, 5599 Ionic Storm, 68 Heidi Fox It Up, 717 Mystery Meat, 808 Purple Raina, 84 Jaws Breaker, and the captain number 9 Emasculator, the coaches for the Saddle Tramps, Goldie Agogo, Judo Nomi, and Sean.
So fun and exciting things happening on the track already. She Coli started with the star. Before they even hit turn 1, there was a star pass 2. That was number 622, Kilroy, who finished the jam. Tucson, I think, had lead jammers both of those times.
Yeah, one point on the first jam, 2 points on the second.
Tucson picking up that lead jammer, utilizing the start at the pivot line and then circle back real fast with that 5 second. That is 434 Mona Handful, who is your lead jammer. Meanwhile, Katarina Hit with the star for the Supernovas, picking up 4 points.
Penalty box filling up there near the end of that jam, although North Star gets one of their skaters released. So start the next jam 3-on-3 in the pack. Tucson will give its jammer start of 420, Pariah Carey.
And that is Anaconda 110 for the Supernovas. Like you said, both packs starting with that 3-3 as one team member from each is in that penalty box.
Blockers falling by the wayside coming into turn 2, and North Star takes lead in the straightaway. That's 110 Anaconda. Lead jammer North Star. Pariah Carey fighting against a tripod formation that breaks up out of turn 4. Pariah gets through the pack and is ready for a scoring pass. Anaconda already on one through the pack, calls things off. Let's see the point total on that one. It's 4 for North Star.
4 for North Star, being able to hold the, is it Saddle Tramps?
Yeah, the Tucson Roller Derby team in black here is known as the Saddle Tramps. They are in black and gold. They used to go with kind of a black and brownish color scheme, but that's boring. So kind of a silver, gold, and black. North Star, the Supernovas here are in white with green and black trim.
Absolutely. We like our green colors. We may or may not refer to ourselves as the Green Machine.
Well, North Star looks fabulous, as does Tucson. All right, we have an early power jam here for North Star. That's Jaws Breaker going to the penalty box for the Saddle Tramps, the jammer, and that means number 44, Jackalope, on the power jam for North Star.
Jackalope is definitely one of the jammers that if you have a power jam, you want her to be. She's extremely fast and agile and has such great track awareness.
Yeah, terrific track awareness, and definitely you could see pushing on some of the blockers around the track. Some real lower body strength as well. So moves around very well, but can also really push on a pack or a tripod full of blockers, it looks like.
And with that, I think that is 7 points in total for the North Stars. And with that, we've got a lead change.
Oh, our first lead change of the Dust Devil.
Woo! I mean, it only took 5 minutes.
All right, we got a clear penalty box, so we're going to start off this jam with 5-on-5 roller derby. That's Hella Naughty, 3381, taking the star for Tucson, and
that is She Coli 0157 for the Supernovas.
leading 0 throws me off there. 0157.
Home season, it's an O. It's not a 0.
Oh, it is.
Correct.
Well, She Coli has taken lead jammer for North Star, but knocked to the outside of the track and calling things off because Hella Naughty was closing in on that pack. 2 points for North Star.
So these first 6 minutes haven't already gotten you excited about the rest of the roller derby that's going to be happening for the weekend. I really hope you are.
Yeah, if that's not happening, then maybe it's still a little too early. Maybe you're at work on a Friday and just kind of halfway watching this. But you need to focus right now. We've got a lead jammer. It's Mad Hater for Tucson, trying to get the lead for the Saddle Tramps back. No star on any helmet that I see for North Star.
So Katarina Hit 1300 is the jammer. She did a nice little star stash.
And Mad Hater knocked to the outside in turn 4 and calls things off. Saw the jammer on the way. 2 more points for Tucson.
Nice little hit and hustle there by Lumberjill, hitting her out and then just getting all the way back to that turn 3.
3 points picked up by North Star. They retain the lead 20-17.
Anaconda out there in white with the star for the Supernovas.
420 in black is Pariah Carey, the jammer counterpart for Tucson. Both look to be heavy parts of the jammer rotation early on. Pariah knocked to a knee in turn 1. Anaconda knocked to the outside and recycling. Both having a little bit of trouble getting through these blocking formations. Pariah powers past in turn 2. Lead jammer Tucson. Some nice blocking there from number 58, Saltine from North Star, freeing up their jammer to complete the initial pass. And just as Saltine's getting back to the pack, Pariah Carey calls things off. 4 points for Tucson, 1 more for North Star. And that brings us to a tie game, loose change, 21-21.
It's still too early in my brain for this level of roller derby.
It's only going to get worse over the weekend. Sunday we start at 9 a.m.
Oh, man.
It's going to be crayfish.
I might need a wake-up call for that. Jackalope with the star for the Supernovas.
Mona Handful taking the star for Tucson.
Both jammers just coming up against those walls of defense, but Jackalope able to break through, picking up lead jammer.
Yeah, there's a penalty there to Tucson Purple Reina going to the penalty box, and that let the North Star jammer slip through on the inside, and that's Jackalope on the scoring pass now, but having to recycle behind Ionic Storm.
If it was in my power, I would make Purple Reina an honorary member of the Supernovas, purely for her Prince-driven name.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you said Purple Rain, I was like, oh, I got really excited.
Yeah, she should really be an honorary member of every Minnesota roller derby team, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, our pack is kind of bunched up by the pivot line, and Jackalope sees that and calls things off. Purple Reina did make her way out of the penalty box, so we'll start with 5-on-5 derby for our next jam. But North Star picking up 4 points, take the lead back.
This is definitely, I mean, we've seen it already. This is going to be a tight back and forth game the whole entire time. Both of these teams ranked very closely to one another, within just a few ranking spots, I believe.
Right. Yeah, there's something like 55 and 58, something like that. I'd have to look at my notes to be sure, but I'm not even going to do that because there's so much cool derby happening right now. And it's Scrappy McNasty jamming for Tucson, getting recycled. And it is North Star taking the lead.
She Coli picking up that lead jammer. Oh, and she has a power jam as
Scrappy McNasty, I believe, picked up a track cut penalty.
Thank you. So that's 4 points so far. And now it's just a matter of how many can Coli score before that jammer is released.
Tucson short a blocker here as well. Cashmere in the penalty box. So they've got a 3-blocker formation at the apex turns 3 and 4. Cherry Popper and Lana Del Slay. Lana Del Slay, the last bastion of the defense, cannot hold off She Coli, who finishes and calls off the jam. I believe Scrappy McNasty was out of the penalty box, so it's not a power start on our next jam. Which will be jam 11.
It was literally seconds, like a second.
It was close. Yeah, clear penalty box. So we start with 5-on-5 Derby for jam 11. Jaws Breaker, number 84, will be jamming for Tucson.
Katarina hit 1300 for Supernovas.
Lots of players hitting the ground in turn 1, but popping back up, and that lets Katarina hit through. Nice work, lead jammer North Star.
Katarina is one of the oldest league members. Not that she's the oldest, but she's been on the league the longest with North Stars.
And she is on a power jam right now. Tucson with a full penalty box. Their jammer, their pivot, and the team captain emasculator all in the penalty box. 2 blockers on the track. That's Heidi Fox it up and Purple Reina. They're trying to hold back Katarina hit. Emasculator now out of the penalty box for Tucson, so they're up to 3 blockers. Purple Reina putting a shoulder into Katarina hit, and Katarina calls things off. But I believe she does freeze the jammer in the penalty box, so a power start for North Star.
She does, and Katarina picks up 12 points.
In a 21-45 game, that's a lot early on.
It is.
Gives North Star our first little bit of breathing room in bout number 1.
Anaconda with the star for the Supernovas.
Tucson got back to a full pack of blockers. And Jaws Breaker out of the penalty box now, so 5-on-5 Derby. And Jaws Breaker will get a power jam due to a track cut penalty on Anaconda.
Oh, goodness. You shouldn't have said anything about them having some leeway, because then this is what happens. It's the announcer's curse, Joe. I blame you.
It's probably my fault. It usually is.
So with that, lead jammer going to, that is number 8 for Jaws Breaker.
Pack moving slowly into turn 2, but a flurry of whistles.
I was going to say, I heard whistles, but I didn't see people. So I wasn't sure what was happening. But it looks like we've had a little jammer do-si-do.
Yeah, Tucson once again filling the penalty box. Lana Del Slay, Cashmere, and the jammer Jaws Breaker there. So a power jam in the other direction for Anaconda.
Whee! That means no lead jammer, which means a full 2 minutes of roller derby.
It's like bonus derby.
It's totally bonus roller derby. Anaconda putting 4 on the board already. Meanwhile, everybody from the Tucson penalty box is standing or has been released.
Power jam concluded. Back to 5-on-5 roller derby. Everybody went into that box once and came out at once.
And there is torrential pain Heading to that penalty box for the Supernovas.
Oh, Jaws Breaker picking up another track cut penalty, though, going back to the box. So the Power Jam will reinitiate for North Star.
With Jawsbreaker just sitting down in that penalty box, that's going to give just about a full 30 seconds when this next jam starts for the Supernovas to have a unopposed Power Jam. So those 10 points for the Supernovas, 4 points for the Saddle Tramps. 15 minutes remaining on this first half.
Quarter of the way through, and it looks like Tucson's calling for...
That's a team timeout,
timeout?
it looks like. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I saw Judonomi throwing her hands in the air. I wasn't sure if she was waving them like she don't care. She's taking a timeout. It looks like, there we have Jam Ref calling the timeout for it. All right. Yeah, so Tucson taking a break early on. And that's probably a good idea. You get down by a little bit. You want to stop the bleeding here, reset your rotation, and make sure you can get everybody back out. Get ready for the Power Jam for North Star.
Yep. I mean, you also want to talk about what kind of snacks you're going to have at halftime. Plan that in advance. I mean, that's what I would do. Isn't that what they do in roller derby?
I think so. I mean, it's early on a Friday. Do you go with, do you go Soccer Mom, get some orange slices? Do you want to have some kind of trail mix? Protein bars are going to be mixed in there.
Bananas.
That's going to be crucial. I saw a masculator with bags full of bananas last night. That stuff was bananas.
You can always tell when a roller derby team is at a hotel because there's no bananas in the breakfasts. They take them all.
Banana hoarders. Next on Fox.
I feel like we should pitch that. We got this great idea, Fox. Let me tell you, it's about bananas. Jackalope with the star, starting the Power Jam. Jackalope on that outside line, clearing those last 3 blockers, picking up lead Jammer. As Jawsbreaker is standing in the box. The penalty box has been cleared, so everyone is back on the track. Both teams putting up some big defense.
And the star pass in effect for Tucson, going to number, what is that? It's Ionic Storm, number 5599. So many numbers. Little announcement for the in-house crowd. If you are the owner of a white Ford Fiesta, license plate CEJ3501, you need to move your car before it gets run over by a semi. CEJ3501, white Ford Fiesta, move your car before it gets run over by a semi.
I hope that's not like a skater or an official.
Right. Somebody skates off the track. I gotta move my car.
Shikoli with the star for the Supernovas.
Ooh, that's hella naughty for the Tucson Roller Derby Saddle Tramps. Making her way to the front of the pack on the outside line. Gets through Lee Jammer. Hella naughty. She's a fan favorite.
Star pass to, that is Kilroy for the Supernovas.
And Tucson leaves the inside line open for Kilroy. Picks up a quick 4 points. Helenati still lead, though. Gets through for 4 for the Saddle Tramps. Helenati letting the jam run a little since Tucson has the lead jammer status. And it pays off. 4 points for Helenati. Kilroy still held up in the pack. Taking a shoulder from Mystery, taking a shoulder from Mystery Meat. Oh, then Mystery Meat knocked out of bounds. Big hit by Shikoli.
Oh, my goodness. A little bit of a pile up there on turn 2, but another 4 points going to Helen Naughty.
Naughty ready for another scoring pass. One more blocker to beat. Gets around the captain, Red Hot Toddy. Another 4-point grand slam for Helen Naughty. Still feels weird saying 4-point grand slam. I'm getting acclimated.
I can't say grand slam with 4 points in front of it.
Well, in the baseball analogy, it makes more sense. A grand slam is 4 runs in baseball. So now it's 4 points in roller derby. It really fits better. Even though, to old timers like me, it's weird as heck. All right, so big jam there for Tucson. 20 points on the board by Helen Naughty. North Star scored 8. So it's 71-45.
10.5 minutes remain in this first half. I mean, that's 25.
Yeah.
26 points?
Yeah.
If I can do my math.
Not a lot, especially Tucson taking lead jammer here. That's Mona Handful out first. One jammer from each team one blocker from each team in the penalty box. Both jammers are on the track and ready for scoring passes.
Katarina Hit coming up. Clears the pack, picks up 4 points of her own for the Supernovas.
Tucson losing its pivot. Ionic Storm to the penalty box. Oh, and a smooth pass by Katarina on the outside. Untouched. All right, 8 points for North Star there and 4 for Tucson. Tucson once again turning to Pariah Carey for jammer duties.
And a matchup we have seen multiple times before, Pariah Carey and Anaconda for the Supernovas.
Pack advantage for North Star. Tucson still down 1 blocker. It does not matter to Pariah Carey. Pariah Carey gets lead, but is hit out of bounds. I think she got the hips in front of the last blocker there, but then was knocked out. So lead jammer status for Tucson, even though Pariah Carey's still fighting through the pack. And finally out now, ready for the scoring pass.
Anaconda making that initial pass. Hot mess currently in that penalty box.
And both jammers in the pack scoring points.
I like when jammers score points.
Yeah, it's sort of it's kind of how we keep track of who wins. You don't do that. I mean, you can still have fun and skate some roller derby, but at the end, I mean, who takes the first victory lap? I don't know.
I mean, obviously the announcers would take the first victory lap.
That's a good point. We would just run around on the track and slap high fives with people.
It's very obvious.
It's probably in the rules. North Star with 1 blocker in the penalty box, so a 4-3 pack advantage for Tucson. Their jammer will be Mad Hater, who starts out trying to get to the outside. 44 is Jackalope, jamming for North Star. Just shedding blockers left and right and gets through on the inside line around Cherry Popper. Lead jammer, North Star.
Some fast pack action, like just whipping around. As soon as I say that, of course, they stop moving, obviously.
It was a really brief fast pack. The jammers got out and everybody went, let's skate. And then the jammers are coming back around and like, no, we better block these dudes. So, you know. Back to 5-on-5 roller derby. Helen Naughty and She Coli with Jammers for the Saddle Tramps and Supernovas, respectively. The pack moving into turn 2. Both Jammers trying to get a leg up, and She Coli gets around Mystery Meat. Lead Jammer Supernovas. Helenati still 3 North Star blockers in front of her. Now down to 1, trying to get by Red Hot Toddy, the captain. She does. Helenati on a scoring pass.
She Coli finds that inside line, picks up 4 points, and calls it, keeping Helen Naughty scoreless for that 18th jam that we've seen thus far. 6 minutes remain in this first half. 88 right now for the Supernovas. Saddle Tramp sitting at a very nice 53. Oh, that was so pretty.
Slick work. Mad Hater sneakily going by on the inside. Tucson providing a little bit of a blocking wall, shielding that inside line.
They were able to utilize that hustle back to the jammer line just to confuse North Stars. Just enough.
A little bit of subterfuge. It does pay off in the lead jammer status, but the power jam goes in the other direction right now. Mad Hater taking a track cut penalty and going to the box.
Katarina Hit out there, the only skater wearing a star. Recycling all the way to that turn 1. Clears that pack and picks up 4 points.
Pack coming to a stop there in the straightaway, moving into turn 3 now. Mad Hater released from the penalty box. But we'll not have a lead jammer. We'll have another 2-minute jam.
Both teams just putting up some fierce defense in tripod scenarios.
And of course, as we say that, things break apart. Tucson, it's due to a star pass to Ionic Storm. Ionic Storm tries to play a little defense as the jammer. Cannot quite knock Katarina Hit out of bounds. Katarina Hit skating backwards, doing the 180. Now trying to get past the Masculator and going to the inside of Mad Hater. 4 points, North Star.
I may be slightly biased, but it takes quite a bit to knock Katarina Hit off of her feet.
Yeah, definitely a steady skater. One I've watched for years, and yeah, I will fully admit I'm a fan of as well. You know, I was like, this North Star team's been here to Dust Devil before. We love having them. We love watching them. They skate good derby. We noticed they haven't been in the penalty box a ton. So good, clean derby is one of the things I love to watch. Right now on the track, we've got an official review called by Tucson. So Judo Nomi, one of the coaches out there, explaining what they would like reviewed with our officials. All right, so it's 2019. This is our 12th Dust Devil, I believe. 12th. This is the original flat track roller derby tournament.
Nice.
The grandmother of them all, the Rose Bowl of roller derby.
Aww.
The Dust Devil. And I'm so glad you came down to join us, Loose Change.
I'm so happy to be here. I flew in very late last night into Phoenix, and then I drove very early to get here today. And it was so funny because driving down 10, it was the signs where it was like, dust storms in this area. And it was just like this continual reminder of like, I'm going to Dust Devil. I'm going to Dust Devil every like 5 miles.
Yeah, that continues through most of the state. Just there's going to be dust storms places, you know. It's sort of a thing. I don't even know how we named the first tournament when we did it in 2006. I don't know how we figured on the name of Dust Devil, but it's stuck. We did 2006 and 2007, and then took a couple years off, resumed in 2010. So that's why the math's a little funky, and you know, this is the 13th anniversary of the Dust Devil, but only our 12th tournament.
Gotcha.
But we got some great teams here. A nice little bunch of teams right around Tucson and North Star here. We've got V-Town. We've got
We've got some junior roller derby.
We've got junior roller derby later. That's our 6 p.m. bout tonight.
Yeah.
Tucson Roller Derby Saddle Brats, which is the first junior roller derby league in the world.
Okay, you guys just need to stop setting like the tone for everything with all the things everywhere. Okay. Jeez.
Well, it's history, and this tournament's a part of that history. It's part of the history of the WFTDA. We're a sanctioned WFTDA tournament, a recognized one once again. So we're happy to put it on, and we're proud of the fact that we get to do this every year. We love welcoming everybody like you, Loose Change, and the North Star Roller Derby Supernovas, who have lead jammer right now with number 110 Anaconda.
Anaconda calling that off. Picking up, looks like 2 points.
Yeah, called it just in time. Scrappy McNasty was on the way back to the pack for a scoring pass there. So 2-0 for North Star.
I mean, if there's anybody that I would never want to jam against, it would be someone named Scrappy. Because that would, I think I would just like sit down and be like, nope, I'm done. You can just.
Scrappy is diminutive in stature, but not in heart. Lives up to the name. All right, we got 3 blockers for each team on the track. 1 blocker for each team in the penalty box.
And 2 jammers on the track.
It's Mad Hater for Tucson taking off the star, but the lead jammer, Jackalope, for North Star, taking lead jammer status. Mad Hater putting the star back on. That was just a stash. Will not have the chance to do so because Jackalope calls things off.
It's been a delightful mix of the old, if you would like to use the old school vernacular of the hit it and quit it derby,
sure,
where it's pick up your 4 points, call it off, as well as mixed with some very hard and aggressive and agile and defensive roller derby as well.
Yeah, and I think defensive roller derby is another great tradition here. I mean, the first couple of years we had some terrific bouts that were 90 to 85 defensive battles before, really we did tripods and 4-person blocking formations and things like that. But terrific defensive roller derby, and that looks like it's going to continue this year. North Star doing a terrific job, and Tucson countering right back.
Oh my, yeah, the defensive triangles and tripods and everything that Tucson has been putting up are just, I can't imagine how they're getting through it. But She Coli gets through it, picks up that lead jammer for the Supernovas.
And I believe that's a power jam for the Supernovas. Pariah Carey called for a track cut. Lots of those early on. I think I've seen 1 out of play block and a couple other penalties, but a lot of track cuts in the first half of our first of 14 Dust Devil bouts this year.
All the roller derby. 4 points so far for She Coli.
And the pack gets stretched out coming into turn 4. She Coli gets through for more points. Pariah Carey unshackled from the penalty box. Oh, and a quick star pass to Mystery Meat. Very sneaky.
If it wouldn't have happened right in front of me, I don't think I would have seen it.
Mystery Meat with a 4-point scoring pass, but not lead. That's still North Star. And She Coli calls off that jam after picking up 4 more points. Looks like that's our halftime, Loose Change.
Already? That's already been 30 minutes of roller derby?
Amazing.
My goodness, I feel like we just sat down.
Time flies when you don't know where the heck you are or what time it is or you're having fun.
All of those things. So we have a 15-minute break, right?
Yeah, we got a 15-minute intermission, and we'll be back maybe a minute before that with more from the North Star Roller Derby Supernovas. The Tucson Roller Derby Saddle Tramps. Our score, 65 for Tucson, 126 into halftime for North Star Supernovas.
$26.
What'd I say?
You said 165. You were combining the 100
Wow.
from the Supernovas and the 65 from the Saddle Tramps.
So it's Friday and it's like noon.
I mean, I'm okay if you want to give them an extra 40 points.
I'm gonna need more caffeine before this day is done. Quick penalty summary: Jaws Breaker for Tucson, number 84 with 4 penalties. Ionic Storm, 5599 with 3, and Hitless, number 46 for North Star with 3. Nobody else in any kind of penalty difficulty, though. It looks like.
Well, that's good. We don't want to see anybody foul out, so.
Before we start here, hey, shout out to my derby wife at Pocket Hips watching on the live stream. Hi, Hips. Love you. And we're off. Mad Hater jamming for Tucson, and Jackalope taking lead for North Star right out of the gate. Is there a gate?
I mean, it's out of the line, out of
It's
the.
like a metaphorical gate?
Yeah,
Okay.
metaphorical gate. I can roll with metaphorical gates. Jackalope calling it off, but not before picking up the. Looks like 2 points. Fingers tend to blend in with stuff when they're not within 40 feet of me.
Our official's doing a great job here so far, though. Keeping track of all that,
Absolutely.
keeping everyone informed.
Oh, fun and exciting pack formation happening out there with corners and
kind of
lines.
Great, a 4-wall up in the front, and Tucson going with 2 on each side, but then forming up into a tripod. Whatever Tucson did, it worked. Hella Naughty took lead jammer for the Saddle Tramps.
Anaconda makes that initial pass.
Hella Naughty with 1 blocker to beat, gets some help from the blockers.
That was a nice little whip there by Emasculator.
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 Yes.
Syllables and emphases.
Emasculator is works as a veterinarian, and it's a good reminder to spay and neuter your pets, everybody. If I can Bob Barker you for a second.
Oh, looks like it's a jammer race. Who's going to sit down first?
I think that was a back block on one of them.
All I knew is that suddenly both jammers were on their way to the penalty box, like 10 feet apart.
And now they are both released.
It's a good thing that they have rules about jammers being in the penalty box for the same amount of time.
Yes, I just don't remember them all. All right, flurry of penalties in turn 3, and that will lead to a power jam once again for North Star. Not what Tucson needs. North Star to extend that deficit. If Tucson wants to keep it close, they've got only 3 blockers on the track and no jammer.
Anaconda fights back, clears the pack, puts another 4, so that's 12 points so far for the Supernovas, and calls it. So 140 right now, Supernovas 69 for Saddle Tramps. Saddle Tramps able to pick up another 4 points.
What was the score again, loose change?
Did I just...
Well, I think it's
did
140
I do
for
it?
the Saddle
You
Tramps.
did?
Oh, no, the 140 for the Supernovas. Saddle Tramps up to 72. Okay.
Did I do what you did? Did I
No, I
add
think
like
you're
100
okay.
points
I
to
think
something?
you're okay. I want to make sure it was on
It wouldn't
there.
surprise me. I
All right.
haven't had any caffeine yet today.
So right at the end of that jam, Hella Naughty released from the penalty box, so we do not have a power start for North Star. We have 5-on-5 roller derby. Mona Handful for the Saddle Tramps, pushing up at the front of the pack in turn 1, getting some offensive help from Mystery Meat. Tucson trying to hold off Katarina Hit, just entering turn 1.
Both very defined, almost mini packs around each jammer individually. But,
So
but of course, as I say that, Katarina Hit breaks through. But it is Saddle Tramps with the lead jammer.
yeah, another situation, we saw one of those in the first half where a Saddle Tramp got the hips around everybody and got lead, but was kind of sucked back into the pack, had not really cleared the blocking of that last blocker, so didn't get to really go on a scoring pass. Mona saw Katarina hit coming up on one of those scoring passes and called things off.
Shout out to the oldies. It's called. It used to be called eating the baby. When you'd suck the jammer back in. At least that's what we would call it.
No, that's a term. That was worldwide.
It's also very old.
Lead jammer here, Mad Hater for Tucson. She Coli still trapped in the pack. The jammer for North Star. Getting held off by Purple Reina. Emasculator picking up a penalty. Trying to hold back She Coli. An act of futility.
Nice little apex hop there for She Coli, picking up those 4 points.
Mad Hater gets through for 4 more for Tucson and calls things off.
8 points there for those Saddle Tramps, bringing them to 80. Supernovas picking up 4, putting them at 144. 24 and a half minutes remain in this second half of the first bout of Dust Devil 2019. We've got Jackalope with a star for the Supernovas. And that is Hella Naughty with the star for the Saddle Tramps. We've seen this matchup a multitude of times. Both teams have a fairly similar number of jammers that they're utilizing in their jammer rotation.
Yeah, we'll see if they mix things up in the second half. You never know. Some of these North Star skaters I've seen before. Many of the Tucson skaters, of course, people have. But a lot of turnover in this Saddle Tramp team this year.
Really?
We're used to seeing Pixie Axe and Metal Maiden and Shanna Banana Hammock and some of the real top-line Tucson skaters that we've had for the past few years. And those skaters have retired. They're taking time off. And so we're getting to see some new faces on the travel team. Mariah Carey, number 420 out there with the star right now. This is her first sanctioned WFTDA tournament travel bout. Mad Hater has done a little bit of travel team before, another one of our jammers. Mystery Meat, we've seen Mystery Meat jamming a lot, mainly blocking so far this bout.
Mm-hmm. It's always exciting to see how, when there's a lot of people that leave from roller derby, how the teams reinvent themselves. So Anaconda right now out there with the star. And that was a beautiful hit to that inside, causing Anaconda to have to reshuffle all the way back behind that pack. So Anaconda's actually, she's been with the league only for a couple of years. She transferred in for another league.
Yeah, go ahead. Our jammers just got out of the pack there. A little pop from the audience. Mariah Carey taking lead for Tucson, getting back to the pack on this scoring pass. And there's... Did anybody get points on that? Let's see. Anaconda was in the pack.
I'm seeing 0 points. It's looking like goose eggs all around. Oh, wait.
1.
Nope, I lied. See? That's what happens when I try to talk about stuff. It changes. That is 1 point for those Saddle Tramps. We have a power start for Katarina Hit as a blocker and the jammer for Saddle Tramps are in that penalty box. Katarina clears that last blocker, picks up lead jammer.
Pack coming to a standstill just before turn 2 and now speeding up as the jammer nears. Tucson cannot come together quickly enough though. Katarina Hit 4 more points for the Supernovas. Tucson does create a triangular formation for that pass, though, and knocks down Katarina Hit. Mystery Meat and Cherry Popper at the back of that. Breaks by 3-1-1 Cashman. Out of the penalty box comes the jammer, Mariah Carey, and almost immediately hands off the star to Ionic Storm the pivot. And that'll force Katarina Hit to call things off for North Star. Before picking up 4 more points, though.
Supernovas picking up 8, sitting at 153. Saddle Tramps at 82. I think that means they got 2 points that last jam because they were at 80.
All right, cool. Points. Yay.
Chico back with the star. Going up against Mad Hater. I'm gonna do my best not to call her Mad Hatter. It's Mad Hater.
Mad Hater.
Mad Hater.
Mad Hater. You know who's not lead jammer right now?
The Mad Hater.
Right. Good point. Mad Hater is on a scoring pass, but the lead jammer, C. Coli, in white for North Star.
You want to know who did some very fancy footwork spinning at the very end of that jam?
Who dat?
Mad Hater.
Nice.
If I just say her name frequently enough, I will eventually just naturally roll off the tongue by Sunday.
Sometimes I do that before bounce. Like I'm just looking at the roster and saying every name as many times as I can so I don't mess them up. Because I will mess them up.
I do that and I still mess them up.
All right, once again, we have Jack Killope and Hella Naughty, our jammers for North Star and Tucson, respectively. Hella Naughty trying to get to the outside, knocked out of bounds, now having to recycle. Jack Killope trying to get to the inside, around that apex. Heidi Fox it up, Purple Raina standing in the way. Emasculator bracing that formation, and it is Hella Naughty through for Tucson, lead jammer.
The crowd by turn one erupts. It's almost as if that's where Tucson roller derby fans happen to be sitting.
One would hope the home team would have a substantial fan base. A little tougher at 1 p.m. on a Friday, but they're still here. We appreciate the roller derby fans that come out.
Those are the type of fans that I like to see.
I like to see all fans. Anybody who pays to get in the door, you know, all fans.
I mean, I'm a fan of them because they have to listen to me, so I hope they're also a fan of me, but who knows?
Yeah, Tucson starting here with a 4-3 pack advantage. Their jammer will be Mona Handful up against Anaconda.
So,
Supernovas.
Saddle Tramps picked up 8 points that last jam to Supernova's 4.
Ooh.
So they're clearing the 90 mark now. Supernova's at the 158. So the Saddle Tramps are slowly but surely chipping away at that lead. And with 18 minutes left and lead jammer status going to them again, this is something that is very doable. That is what 434 Mona Handful out there with the star for the Saddle Tramps.
I don't see a star on any helmets for a North Star right now.
I believe the star is in the hand.
If it's not on a helmet, it has to be either like in a hand or on the ground, right? I don't see it on the ground, so it's in somebody's hand. It's a handy star.
Given the people being blocked, I would make a general assumption that it's probably Anaconda because she has 4 Saddle Tramps stopping her.
You can never tell. It could be somebody else.
I know. And see, just like that, it was a star pass.
Yes, Kilroy took that star right as we were talking about it. As if on cue.
That's why I said I can only assume, because maybe they just really wanted to block Anaconda.
And you know what they say when you assume?
I do, and it's
somebody becomes a donkey, I think, is what it is.
It's also the only way that I learned how to spell assume.
Also, donkeys are burros, and burros are delicious. Okay, back on the track, Katarina Hitt and Mad Hater are jammers. 5-on-5 roller derby.
We need to put a pin in the burros are delicious, because I'm very confused about that. But yes, Katarina is lead jammer for the Supernovas.
Burros, burritos, taquitos. I'm a fan of them all.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
I don't think a burro is a burrito.
Oh, it is. A burrito is a smaller burro. That's how Spanish works. I'm giving language lessons during the derby. Tucson has a star pass to Ionic Storm. That forces the jam call off. 3 more points for North Star. While I'm talking about Mexican food.
I mean, if there's going to be a kind of food that I want to talk about during roller derby, it's going to be Mexican food.
And if you're at the Dust Devil, really, you should be here.
I'm going to need you to point out some good taco joints for me.
Oh, that'll happen.
3 points, like you said, to the Supernovas, sitting at 161 to Saddle Tramps 97.
Chicola getting knocked down right at the jam line. Hella Naughty jamming for Tucson, taking a quick lead jammer status.
And there we have another star pass to Kilroy.
Kilroy, a popular star pass taker in bout 1, the first game of the Dust Devil 2019 Invitational.
Kilroy is a very effective jammer for the home teams, and she doesn't like necessarily to jam for the travel teams, but she does when she needs to. She takes one for the team, both literally and metaphorically.
And I think having a pivot that's like that, a pivot that can jam and also is flexible, that's a good blocker, can jam, and really knows when, as a blocker, to do the different things. When to fall back, when to come forward to play offense, when to be prepared for a star pass. It's just as important as having really good jammers in your jammer rotation. That pivot position has become so critical in modern roller derby, and having somebody who does that well, like Kilroy, super important. And definitely a bonus here for North Star. It's one of the reasons they're building this league.
Absolutely. Helenati getting a little bit of advice from her bench. Finds that inside line. Both of these jammers so far picking up 8 points for their respective teams. I do not see lead anywhere, so it looks like this will probably be a full 2-minute jam.
We did have a bunch of whistles, so penalty no doubt to somebody. More points there for North Star. I believe that penalty was to Lana Del Soleil for the Saddle Tramps.
12 total there for the North Stars, 8 for the Saddle Tramps, 173 to 108. Or sorry, 105.
Triple digits, though, for the Saddle Tramps. That's a good thing. And that's a whistle. The officials, I think, taking a minute to sort out the points and penalties here. An official timeout. Right now, it looks like there's 2 Saddle Tramp blockers in the box and 1 North Star blocker over there. So a pack advantage 3-2 for the Supernovas. Hovering around the jammer line, we see Jackalope 44 and Pariah Carey 420.
So for this being Pariah Carey's first WFTDA bout,
First game, first tournament, first traveling.
She is killing it with the jammer star all the time.
Killing it. A real kind of quadruple threat. Well, more than that, I think.
Wait, what?
So
quadruple is 4, right?
She can block, she can jam, she will pivot. She's an announcer. She announces some of our home bouts as well. And she DJs many of our bouts. She has a radio show where she's used to doing that. So
she's like a quintuple.
Yeah. She's all the threats. I don't know how many there are, but I think she is like all of them.
I mean...
All right, at the end of that jam, it looks like a penalty assessed to Helenati, the Tucson Jammer. So we start off with a power start for North Star.
And that is a Jackalope picking up lead jammer in those first few seconds of this jam.
That 3-2 pack advantage has persisted. I'm sorry, 3... I don't know what it is now. It looks like it's about to be 3-3. Comings and goings from the penalty box, making my life complex.
It's been a busy penalty box. I'm not normally a big fan of a busy penalty box. As someone who used to be I used to be an official, and so I was in the penalty box. Sometimes you just want a nice, clean, no penalty game.
I always want that. Okay, Helenati out of the penalty box, completing an initial pass for the Saddle Tramps.
Jackalope picking up 4 and calling it after finally working past, that was 505 Cherry Popper. That was just had her number. So it was 12 points to Jackalope for the Supernovas, holding the Saddle Tramps scoreless. With 12 minutes on the board, we are creeping up on a 80-point differential at this juncture.
When you get there, you have to watch the clock. The clock at some point becomes your enemy as much as the other team. You're trying to get enough points to stay within your margin and make things acceptable for rankings and all that.
The clock is both your friend and your foe.
Right now, Tucson's foes, number 110, Andakana, lead jammer for the Supernovas. Juking into turn 3, and almost getting around on the outside, run out of bounds. Mariah Carey with one more blocker to beat, and gets around 314, Rude Barb. Mariah Carey ready for a scoring pass, but the jam is called off before she can get back to the pack and score anymore. 3 more points on that pass for the Supernovas, though.
That was a beautiful transition, by the way.
Thank you.
So, very proud of you. Good job.
This is a really good bout so far for the Supernovas. At what point were they Novas? And if so, when did they get upgraded to Super? Did they get a cape? What happened?
So basically what happened was the mayor of Minneapolis was like, hey, we're going to need you in our time of trial to step up and really be superheroes. And then people were on board and were like, yeah, superheroes, supernovas, let's just do it. I mean, you probably don't know this. Minneapolis has actually been attacked by 5 different evil geniuses.
Sure.
That the supernovas have successfully defended our, home star state from.
Interesting. I think one of those. I'm wondering if one of those evil geniuses might have been a ref, and if that person is assessing penalties right now, because I see Katarina hit and one of the North Star blockers in the penalty box. That's led to a power jam. Lead jammer is Mad Hater from the Saddle Tramps, trying to start a Tucson comeback.
Ooh, nice assist there. That was 717 Mystery Meat coming to break up that wall of skaters from North Stars.
Yeah, needs the pivot. Katarina hit out of the penalty box now, by the way. Power jam over. But that's what I'm talking about. Mystery Meat playing that blocking position, making a bridge, and then coming up, playing a little bit of offense, dropping back, making sure the pack was ready for the jammer coming out of the box. And when they had that jammer handled, moving back up to play more offense. It's the nice kind of pivot segueing from one role to the other, doing everything and keep being aware of all things simultaneously. Nice work by Mystery Meat. And that lets Tucson pick up 2 more points before things get called off there.
Mm-hmm. So Tucson putting 6 on the board, holding the Supernovas scoreless. 9 minutes remaining. 77-point difference. I mean, a couple of jammer penalties, and we're going to have a foot race.
Sure. Yeah, it's a cliche. There's plenty of time. We have 5-on-5 roller derby. Oh, and Hella Naughty threw on the inside, taking lead. Nice work by Tucson once again, coming back to that jammer line and sealing the North Star blockers to the outside, making way for Hella Naughty.
Tucson is just, they have mastered that, and they know when to implement it and how effective it's going to be. It's beautiful.
You can't do it every jam. You got to pick your spots to do it. Just when the other team forgets that you do it, that's when you do it.
Yep.
And that's super effective. And then you lay off of that for a while.
Shikoli out there with the star for the Supernovas, being held back behind those Saddle Tramp blockers.
And now Shikoli on a power jam. Helenati taking looked like a forearm penalty. So power jam for North Star.
Shikoli coming up against, it was 1 blocker, and suddenly it's 3 blockers.
Yeah, it was Ionic Storm, but nice awareness by Purple Rain and Emasculator to get back up to the front there and help out. Ionic Storm ends up taking the penalty, but now there's still 2 blockers up at the front. Heidi Fox it up, pulling back and bridging. Helen Naughty free from the penalty box.
Yep, I was going to say, it was a real nice penalty kill.
4-point passes for both teams. Shikoli getting back to the penalty box, knocked to the infield. Helenati trying to hop around turn 1, but also gets knocked out of bounds and has to recycle back past the pivot line.
both of these jammers just looking tired. This is what happens when you have full 2 minutes of roller derby.
Yeah, and we talked about those kind of fixed jammer rotations. If you're not mixing it up and expanding those, that can happen as well. So if you have an official timeout, that's a good time for me to mention a couple of our sponsors here. One of them in the house is Xfinity.
What?
They've got cool little lightning cables if you got an iPhone. They've got those, what do they call them, thunder sticks or boom sticks? Or
You blow them up and then you smack them together?
Yeah, they make noise and stuff. You can go get them. They're over there. Please do not hit the announcer. Skaters are officials with them. They're in the house, and we love having them. And the other sponsor I want to talk about right now is RollerCon.
What?
Who's changed? We met at RollerCon.
I was going to say, that's how we met.
It was a magical moment.
It was.
RollerCon's terrific. It's the most fun you can have doing anything roller derby related, I think. It's an incredible amount of fun. And we're going to be raffling off 2 RollerCon MVP passes.
Whoa.
Those are, the prices go up on those like every month, so they're probably worth a couple $100 a pop now.
Oh, man.
And we're going to be raffling those off. You do not have to be present to win. We'll take your name and your phone number.
Ooh.
And we're going to, I think Saturday or Sunday at 3 p.m.,
Excellent.
we're going to raffle those off. So if you are interested, you can probably buy those at the merch booth here. Get yourself a raffle ticket, and we can raffle off those passes, MVP passes for RollerCon. MVP passes means I think you get to do everything. You go to classes, you can watch roller derby.
Mm-hmm.
You
get to listen. You can listen to us announce.
You get to listen to some fabulous and sometimes mostly fabulous announcing. I won't speak about any other announcing.
Not everyone can do 100% every time.
Sure.
I will speak for myself and say that there have been times where I have put down a microphone and just been like, yeah, can we just pretend that never happened?
That's not streamed, right? Was anybody recording that? No?
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, good.
Everyone at home. Hello, everyone at home. You can mark my words. Hi, friends. So, we're rolling into 2 minutes of this official timeout. Quick reminder, 6 minutes, 34 seconds on that clock. Supernova's sitting at 196. Saddletramps at 118. You're just shaking your head at me.
I am. No, that's with 6 minutes left. That's a lot of points.
It's a lot of time for a lot of points.
And the official timeout probably coming at a good time for Tucson to regroup here a little bit, formulate your strategy for the last few minutes of the game, and North Star's going to have, it looks like, a blocker in the penalty box coming out. So formulating some 4-on-3 pack strategy here. Closing ranks for the last few minutes and seeing if they can come back and make a real contest to North Star. I know every point matters when you've got these sanctioned bouts and you're competing for rankings and those kind of things.
So, I'm trying to. We have more roller derby happening than just after this. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, you want to talk about what's next? Because our 2 p.m. bout is going to be V-Town versus Happy Valley.
Ooh. Where's V-Town from again? I was reading there.
What about V-Town? Oh, yeah, we got a cool program here. It probably tells us a little bit about V-Town. This is V-Town's first visit to the Dust Devil. I have not seen them before. The V-Town Roller Derby. VTownDerbyDames.com is their website. They're going to be here. And Happy Valley was here last year. Happy Valley from Utah, I believe. So that should be fun. Again, 2 teams fairly closely ranked. We're back in action here on the track. We are rolling. Lead jammer has gone to Mona Handful from Tucson, but she has been eclipsed by number 44, Jackalope for North Star. With a limited amount of time here in Tucson having lead jam, Mona is letting things run. Mona with a couple more North Star blockers to beat and calls things off. Does get 4 points. So 4-4 for that jam, and Tucson will reset, give their star to 106. Mad Hater. North Star will counter with Anaconda. Tucson short one blocker.
I'm going to say this. I really like the Saddle Tramps plaid. Plaid.
Oh, the plaid shirts? Yes,
The plaid.
that's good. When you see the Saddle Tramps off the track, you can notice them. They are generally wearing yellow and black Dixon flannels. The Dixon Flannels is an Arizona company as well. They're out of Tempe.
Look at you guys, all fancy. Anaconda picking up that lead jammer. Penalty box has been emptied.
And as we were talking about the pivot work of Mystery Meat earlier, Mystery Meat now taking the star on a star pass for Tucson.
Anaconda finding that inside line and calls it before Mystery Meat's able to put any points on the board.
Anaconda gets all for it. A timely call off. Ionic Storm was coming through on the outside line and coming for her. There was a hit in the works right when she was calling that off. Four and a half minutes left in game one. Hellenati and Katarina hit jamming. 5-on-5 derby on the track. Tucson setting up closer to the jam line. North Star with their blockers up by the pivot line. They cannot hold back Hellenati.
I feel like there's not a lot that can hold back Hellenati at this point.
Force of nature. And force for picking up 4 points. Getting ready for another scoring pass. Katarina hit through the pack, ready for a scoring pass as well. Hellenati gets by on the outside. 4-point passes for both jammers. Hellenati now looking back, trying to hold up Katarina hit, playing a little bit of defense as a jammer.
Ooh.
Well, eventually Katarina hit makes it through, and both jammers continue on their way for scoring passes. Hellenati encounters the North Star blockers at the apex of turns 1 and 2. Katarina hit. Does a little sidestep on the Tucson pack. And picks up 4 points. Hellenati hits the ground at turn 2 and calls things off, picking up 3 herself. But that ate a lot of time off for Tucson. I'm not sure about the strategy to try to hold back the other jammer when you're down by this much.
Well, she was also getting the opportunity for the rest of her teammates to relieve themselves from that penalty box.
I hope nobody relieved themselves in the penalty box.
That's why I said from the penalty box.
Okay, good. Yeah, there were 2 in there, so definitely worked the clock enough to get people out of there, but clock also the enemy of the Saddle Tramps. Down 212 to 133.
Like we said, that time clock is both your friend and your foe, and it's all about how you manage it. Managing that lead jammer is Shikoli for the Supernovas.
Brian Carey still trying to make through the initial pass. Juking to the inside, to the outside. No luck so far. Shikoli making a little bit easier work of the Tucson blockers, picking up 4 more.
Shikoli takes that outside line, picking up another quick 4 points for those Supernovas.
No stars on any Tucson helmets right now, but Ionic Storm looking to try to get through to the front of the pack. The pivot Ionic Storm is through and now is putting the star on the helmet. Not in time, though, as Shikoli calls off that jam.
And it looks like we've got a Saddle Tramps time out being requested.
Score at 133 for Tucson, 220 for the Supernovas. So what's that, 87 points? Minute and 47 left.
Ooh. Thank you for correcting me. You were correct. I did use the wrong terminology. It's not eat the baby. I don't. My brain, man.
Well, it's kind of. I kind of think of that term being used generally when you've got a jammer that jammer's making it out of the pack, and then kind of one holds it up and the pack kind of catches up to it. But I mean, I guess even when you're right at the front of the pack, you can kind of do it, and it's like a miniature version of that. The principle, no doubt, remains the same.
Right. Take the jammer, put them back in the pack.
Getting back to the rest of our bouts today, we mentioned our 2 p.m. V-Town Happy Valley bout. You're going to be calling that, right, Loose Change?
I am.
Awesome. Then we'll have 4 p.m. Humboldt versus Fort Collins, FOCO.
Ooh. I'm excited to see FOCO.
FOCO's been here before. I want to say they were here in 2011 or 2012. It's good to have them back. Humboldt making its first visit here. We're happy to have Humboldt. And then we'll finish with 6 p.m., as we mentioned, a junior roller derby bout.
I love the little babies.
It's the best. And eventually they grow up and start skating here. Ionic Storm we've gotten to see a lot today. Skated in our junior programming.
Really?
Moved up, yeah.
I could talk about the repercussions of having good junior derby programs for ages, but I won't do that. Jackalope out there with the star for the Supernovas. And you want to know else who has the star right now for the Saddle Tramps?
Who dat?
Matt Hatter. Matt Tinks.
You were so close. You were so close.
Mad hater. I was doing so well.
The good news is you've got until your Sunday 3 p.m. bout when you're calling Tucson versus V-Town to get it right.
Oh, thanks. No pressure. Sure.
All right. Star pass. So the star is no longer on Mad Hater's helmet. Is now with Mystery Meat. And Meat is on a power jam because Jackalope is in the penalty box, where she will sit and feel shame.
As well she should. Mystery Meat picking up those first 4 points. 33 seconds remain on this period clock.
We may be down to our last jam or two. Jackalope.
Oh.
Unshackled from the penalty box.
We don't have a lead jammer, so this will be a full 2-minute jam.
It could be the last one.
So I think it could be. Oh, my goodness.
Jackalope almost doing the splits, hopping around turn 4. Picking up the points, though, staying in bounds. That's the important part. I don't think they give style points for doing the splits on an Apex jump. They should.
I mean, I personally award style points
Sure.
to jammers and blockers that do good things, but my points mean nothing to them.
Yeah, the officials don't recognize when announcers award style points. And I think we need to work on that.
Yeah, we definitely should. Well, looks like we've got an unofficial score at this point, because that was the final jam. Saddle Tramps 141 picking up 8 in that last jam. Supernovas at 233 picking up 12 in that last jam.
Looks like this will help the rankings for the North Stars Supernovas. So, a good start to the trip to Tucson for our friends from Minnesota.
Absolutely. And I am excited to see. So Tucson is playing tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, Tucson has tomorrow the 1 p.m. bout versus Happy Valley. You'll hear Jeff Mann and Party on Barth on that call from the announcer side. And North Star will follow up tomorrow with our last bout, Saturday, 7 p.m. versus V-Town. And you're on that one, right, Lucy?
I am.
You're doing all the North Star bouts this
I
weekend.
am. It's like our head announcer knew that I'm affiliated with their league and wanted to let me talk about my skaters.
Okay, I asked you which ones you wanted, and you said, I'll do the North Star ones. Yeah, but you've got 3 other bouts this weekend that are not North Star related, and that should be fun as well. I always like calling new teams. North Star taking a victory lap here.
First bout, there's always got to be a winner. There's always got to be a loser.
That's not just true of the first bout. That's true of most of the bouts.
Unless it's a tie, and then it gets real weird.
Yeah, no, you do overtime. The first time anybody beat the Texas Texecutioners, that was Tucson beat them in Austin in overtime.
So, the team from across the river from us, the Minnesota Roller Girls.
I'm familiar with them.
If you know where I'm going with this, I believe they are currently the only team. Them and Windy City are the only team to have been ended in a tie. Because it was
right.
Oh, gosh,
I remember
it was a
this.
multitude of years ago. There
Yeah.
was.
Who were they playing? Was that Windy?
Yep, it was Windy.
Yeah, Windy
it was
City.
it was like the rival, and Minnesota had finally like won. They thought, and then it ended up there was some things happening in the background with points,
Yeah.
and it ended up
Basically,
as a tie.
there was a recount,
Yeah,
and they came back later and said, "Well, actually, that's a tie game. Sorry." Yeah, get in this picture here. This stage.
I'm trying to creep in on the team photo. We'll see if it works or not. I mean, they're standing in front of me, so that's
And they're
very
on
helpful.
skates, so they're kind of taller than us.
I am taller than most of them, though, even when they're on skates, so I'm okay with that.
For those of you on the stream, we have another bout coming up at 2 p.m. That's going to be in about a half hour. Tucson, as most of Arizona does, remains on Mountain Standard Time all year. So it's 1:30 right now here, and our 2 p.m. bout will be V-Town versus Happy Valley. And Loose Change, I guess you'll be back with that in a half hour, right?
I will. I'm not going anywhere. I'm literally just going to continue to occupy this seat.
Cool.
It's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure, and I'll be around the rest of the day, but this is my last bout announcing. I'm Joe Audino. Thank you, everybody in the stream, for listening and tuning in.
Bye, everybody on the stream.